In the reading section of the PTE academic test, you'll get a question type called reorder paragraph. Now, if you haven't taken the PTE academic before, let me explain what this is. What you'll need to do is arrange the disordered paragraph into the correct order. That is, you need to sequence the sentences so they make meaning from beginning to end. What you need to concentrate on is the coherence and cohesion of this paragraph, how the meaning flows from one sentence to the next. Now here, all the sentences are blurry. You can't read them, and that's because this is one of the questions that we'll be answering in this video. I'll let you read the sentences and try to arrange the paragraph yourself in just a moment. Before we try and answer the question, I need to teach you the reorder paragraph method. Let's get into it. Now, the first thing you want to do in reorder paragraph is locate the independent sentence. What is that? Let me explain, but just before I do, don't forget to click the subscribe button for more PTE academic videos. So, the independent sentence is the first sentence. This independent sentence will be the first thing you need to find, and once you do, you'll put it at the top of the paragraph as sentence number 1. After you find that independent sentence, the next thing you want to do is find the second sentence, and then the third, and then the fourth, and so on. You can find these by looking at the meaning and grammar in these sentences. Does each sentence meaningfully connect from one to the next? Have a go at this question here. Feel free to pause the video and see if you can answer it. If you'd like to learn more about how you can find the right sentences after you locate that first independent sentence, I recommend checking out e2testprep.com. We have videos and classes that cover all of it. Okay, let's try and answer that first question together. So, the first thing we want to do is find that independent sentence. Let's look at each sentence one by one. Here's sentence A. For the first time, we have a systematic answer to a key question in the field of self-esteem research, says Mike Tancredi. It could be an independent sentence since it doesn't refer back to any other sentence. So let's leave it for now. Sentence B. Both according to a meta-analysis of more than 2 decades of research. I'm not happy with this one. With the word both, it looks like the sentence needs one before it. Sentence C. Does having close friends boost your self-esteem? Now, this sentence is a question, but it's a good sentence to start a paragraph. A good introductory sentence. I like it. But let's check sentences D and E, just in case. Sentence D. Or does having high self-esteem influence the quality of your friendships? The word or in this sentence seems to imply a sentence before this one. So I don't like this one. Sentence E. That is, to what extent does a person's social relationships influence his or her self-esteem development? Well, once again, we have a phrase, that is, which implies there was a sentence before it. So it seems like sentence C was the best independent sentence. So let's put it as sentence number 1. Now, we need to find the next sentence that flows logically from this one. Let's have a look. There was one sentence that I liked the look of, sentence D. Or does having high self-esteem influence the quality of your friendship? Again, it's another question, but it flows very naturally together with the first sentence. Let's read them together. Does having close friends boost your self-esteem? Or does having self-esteem influence the quality of your friendships? Great, they flow nicely. Let's look for sentence number 3 now. The third sentence is this one. Notice the word both. Both refers to those 2 questions. Okay, so we're now left with 2 quotes, and we need to figure out which quote should come first. Let's have a look. Sentence A. For the first time, we have a systematic answer to a key question in the field of self-esteem research, says Mike Tancredi. It has to be this one because we're introducing the person. And then, logically, sentence E follows that. The phrase, that is, connects back to the first part of the quote. So now we have all the sentences in the right order. But one thing you want to do on test day is read through the entire paragraph just to make sure it all makes sense. Let's read it. Does having close friends boost your self-esteem? Or does having high self-esteem influence the quality of your friendships? Both, according to a meta-analysis of more than 2 decades of research. For the first time, we have a systematic answer to a key question in the field of self-esteem research, says Mike Tancredi. That is, to what extent does a person's social relationships influence his or her self-esteem development? Great. That makes sense from beginning to end. All right, if you found that question difficult or you think you need a little more practice with this type of question, I recommend that you check out www.e2testprep.com. We have hundreds of practice questions, including reorder paragraph questions, along with live classes, exclusive video lessons, mock tests, and more. You can sign up for free. Let's try another reorder paragraph question. Here it is. Feel free to pause the video again and try to answer it yourself. Remember the method. Locate that independent sentence. Okay, let's try and answer the question together. First, we find that independent sentence. Let's start from the bottom this time. Sentence E. Their mothers are 900 times larger than that. Well, we can see that this definitely won't be the first sentence. These pronouns, there and that, clearly refer back to a previous sentence. What about sentence D? A recent study of bones across 10 species of bears and other animals, however, has shed some light on the mystery. Notice it says the mystery. What mystery are we talking about? And notice here the discourse marker, however, which would contrast this with a previous sentence, so I'm not happy with this one either. Okay, sentence C. This unusual size difference has left researchers puzzled for years. This won't be the first sentence either, because of the word this, which is referring to something before. Sentence B. With a few exceptions among animals such as echidnas and kangaroos, no other mammal newborns are so tiny relative to their mothers. Notice the words no other mammal newborns. Other to what? Let's read sentence A. Born pink, blind, and helpless, giant pandas typically weigh about 100 grams at birth. This is a good sentence to start off with. Let's put it as sentence number 1. Okay, so which sentence attaches to this one? Well, there's only actually one sentence that can connect to it. Sentence E. Their mothers are 900 times larger than that. Why only this sentence? Well, it's because of the phrase 900 times larger than that. The pronoun that is referring back to the size, 100 grams at birth. If you put sentence E anywhere else, it wouldn't connect quite as elegantly as it does here. Sentence number 3 is sentence B. With a few exceptions among animals such as echidnas and kangaroos, no other mammal newborns are so tiny relative to their mothers. If we put this as sentence number 2, the word that in sentence E wouldn't fit. So we'll leave it as number 3. Now, for sentence number 4. The paragraph changes topic slightly. Sentence C is number 4, and it introduces a new idea to the paragraph. That is, left researchers puzzled for years. It also connects to the previous sentences with the phrase, this unusual size difference. But it's the new idea, researchers being puzzled, that connects to the final sentence, sentence D. Here, at the end of sentence D, we have the mystery. This mystery is the unusual size difference, or the thing that has left researchers puzzled, mentioned in the previous sentence. So once again, let's read the full paragraph. Born pink, blind, and helpless, giant pandas typically weigh about 100 grams at birth. Their mothers are 900 times larger than that, with a few exceptions among animals, such as echidnas and kangaroos. No other mammal newborns are so tiny relative to their mothers. This unusual size difference has left researchers puzzled for years. A recent study of bones across 10 species of bears and other animals, however, has shed some light on the mystery. That paragraph makes sense. Nice. That was quite challenging, but let's try one more reorder paragraph question. But before we look at it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more tips, lessons, and methods for PTE Academic. So here it is. Give the video a pause and try it yourself. Put your answers into the comments, and we'll see if you got it right. Okay, this one was quite challenging. Remember, your goal is to connect the sentences cohesively and grammatically. Let's have a look. So what is the independent sentence for this paragraph? It's sentence C. How the languages of the world emerged is largely a mystery. This is a very broad introductory sentence, but as the paragraph continues, the sentences become more specific. The first sentence introduces the topic. You can't open with a highly specific sentence. Sentence number 2 is sentence A. Considering that it might have taken millennia, it is intriguing to see how deaf people can create novel sign languages spontaneously. You can see the connection between sentence number 1 with the phrase, it might have taken millennia, and the word emerged, as in, the emergence might have taken millennia. Sentence number 3 is sentence D. Observations have shown that when deaf strangers are brought together in a community, they come up with their own sign language in a considerably short amount of time. The next sentence is sentence E. The most famous example of this is Nicaraguan Sign Language, which emerged in the 1980s. You can see how E connects back to D with the phrase, the most famous example of this. So finally you end with the last sentence. Sentence B, how exactly this happened, however, has not been documented. Okay, so this is the correct sequence for the paragraph. Let's look at how it all connects. First, we have languages of the world emerging. This connects with might have taken millennia. This second sentence also introduces the topic of deaf people and creating a language spontaneously. This connects with the third sentence with deaf strangers and the idea of coming up with something in a considerably short amount of time. Then we move to an example of this, with this being the emergence of a spontaneous language. And we finally have how exactly this happened, with the word this referring back to Nicaraguan Sign Language from the previous sentence. So there we go. That's the correct sequence. That's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. Remember, if you need any more practice for reorder paragraph or any other PTE task type, check out www.e2testprep.com, and I'll see you in the next video.